Hey folks, welcome to Amber Insights. I'm Zori Amber, she, her pronouns, and today we're going to talk about how to pick a research topic. Let's get started. So today we're talking about how to pick a research topic. Just as a reminder, I'm currently a doctoral student in a counselor education program. So that means that some of my tips may not apply for all research, all fields of study, but hopefully some of the tools and the resources that I'll share in this video can still be helpful for even those outside of my field. Just a little insight for those of you who may not have looked at my earlier videos, but I was never really interested in research, at least not until my master's program, and even then that was towards the end of it. I thought that research was something that only stuffy old white men who were geniuses wearing white coats did. But thanks to an amazing professor in my master's program and also another amazing professor in my doctoral program, I realized that I can do research too, and I actually really like it. But for me, it was realizing that I had to do research that I felt was important. I really hope that this video helps show other people who are not old, who are not white, who are not male, and who do not have lab coats realize that they can also do research as well. But sometimes it can be really difficult figuring out where to start. So I hope that this video can be really helpful in regards to that. I hope that this video can provide people with a place to start and help them realize that your interests, whatever they may be, are worthy of being researched. As long as you're bringing new information into the world, as long as it's something that you are feeling passionate and motivated by, I think it's really a worthy endeavor to go into research. So hopefully these tips will be helpful. And as always, below, let me know if you have your own tips. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so that you're notified of future videos. So tip number 1, I think it's important to ask yourself the following questions. What am I interested in? What topics would I like to learn more about? And what do I think is important in my field? By answering these questions, you can start brainstorming about what are you interested in? And after you do that, then you can move on to step 2. So for step 2 is about making a list. In this list, you want to make sure that you're including everything, basically everything that comes to mind in terms of what you're interested in and what do you think is important to your field. Doesn't matter how crazy it is. It doesn't matter how maybe over-researched this area is. It doesn't matter if you've never seen research in this area or not. Just write everything down. You want to make sure you include keywords, questions, just whatever that comes to mind. Even if you don't know if there's a specific scientific word or term for whatever you're interested in, just write it down. The only person who's really going to see this list is you. Step 3. So step 3 is taking some of the words, the keywords, the phrases, whatever that you initially put in your list in step 2 and putting them into either Google Scholar or putting them, if you're a student, into the library search system. Obviously, there are other search systems that you can use to find research. Again, these are just my tips. These are just the things that I do. Typically, I either use Google Scholar or my library search space to do that. Number 4. So once you decide where you're going to search the terms, you're just going to go through all the key terms, keywords, ideas that you had on that list that you created and just see what pops up. Typically what I like to do is just kind of look at the titles. Ideally the titles should give you a little bit of ideas about the topic. You can also look at the abstract to also get an idea of what the paper is about. I'm not saying read all the papers, just do a cursory glance on keywords or key terms that appear when you put in a search term. Okay, so step 4 is essentially do this for all the search terms, all the keywords that you have on that list that you created. What you want to make sure that you do is maybe in a different color or maybe in a different column. You start putting in the additional words that pop up, the different keywords, key terms that pop up when you search for that initial term or keyword. So for example, when I initially did this in my master's program, I typed in bisexual women. I got a whole lot about bisexual women and body image. I got a whole lot about bisexual women and visibility. So those were terms, visibility, body image, were terms that I put in the second column or in a different color, just so I can be like, okay, these words, these key terms keep popping up in the research. Now again, you may get some words or key terms that you may not be interested in looking into further, but again, this is just to help you see what's already out there, to see what may not be out there. Number 5. Now, once you've gone through the list of your keywords, key terms, key phrases, whatever, and you found any connecting key terms, keywords, or phrases through either Google Scholar or the search through your library webpage, now you're going to see if there's any overlap. Do you see any key terms, any keywords that pop up for different things that you put initially in your first list? If so, do some sort of note-taking, some sort of highlighting that shows that those words pop up for different terms. And you may realize, oh, hey, these things actually connect. Or you may realize that even though the items or terms or keywords in your first list may seem vastly different from each other, by going through your second list or the second column of keywords and key terms that you found, you may realize like, oh, all these things have to do with body image, or body image keeps coming up for all of these initial terms that I'm interested in. Maybe I should also look into body image as well. So then if you want to, you can go and start another search about body image if you hadn't already put body image into your initial first list of keywords and key terms, and then see what you get with body image as well. Essentially, what you want to do with this is see if there's any way that these themes, these ideas, these interests that you have connect, if there's any theme that keeps popping up, and just see where that takes you. Number 6. Now, obviously at this point, you have probably a list of a lot of words, a lot of key terms, a lot of key phrases. Now, if you're in a place where you can start your research or continue your research further, what you want to do is pick whichever topic just comes out to you. That might be really difficult because you might have a lot of really great ideas, a lot of really great topics that you might be interested in. That's why it's so important to keep the list that you made with you. I still have the list that I made when I did my initial what am I interested in list, and I actually go back to it and see if any of the topics, any of the interests that I initially had are things that I'm still interested in, or things that I can still connect to what I'm doing currently with my research. And who knows, later on you may realize, oh, I have this whole list of things that I'm interested in. Where can I take my research next? Where can I go next? So you want to make sure that you don't get rid of this list. Again, it may be super hard to pick a topic, but just pick whichever one just speaks to you. Number 7. Okay, so using a combination of either Google Scholar or your school's online database, you want to start looking for research articles. So again, Hopefully you've already found keywords, key terms that keep popping up in your initial cursory view of the research. And now you can use those terms to narrow down what you're looking for. Again, in my field, I was told that you want to look for articles within the last 10 years. That's typically viewed as the most recent research articles. You also want to make sure that the articles that you're looking at are from peer-reviewed journals. Peer-reviewed means that the article was written by an expert and reviewed by other experts in the field to make sure that the results and conclusions are scientifically and ethically sound, has quality, and is as accurate as possible. Most schools' online library database has an option on the side where you can make sure that you select that you just want to see peer-reviewed articles. Again, peer-reviewed articles just means that it was reviewed by other experts in the field, and we can say that it should hopefully have sound and ethical results and conclusions. Number 8. So once you've gone through Google Scholar and once you've gone through your school's online library database and found some peer-reviewed journal articles, it's time to read them. If you're looking at a new topic that you haven't looked at before, I suggest reading the literature review because ideally the author should set up an argument for why they're doing the research that they're doing. And that can be helpful in understanding where the author is coming from, where they're getting their variables, their constructs, their ideas from. So if you've never looked at that specific area or topic of interest, reading the lit review, the introduction, should be helpful to understand where the author is coming from. And it could also provide insights into possible key theories, key topics, ideas that are well known in that area of research that you may not have looked at before. So you found articles that are related to your topic of interest, and you really like them, they're peer-reviewed, but you're not sure if you found all of the articles that you may be interested in finding. So what can you do? Number 9. So this is where a really cool tool called Research Rabbit comes into play. Now, first off, I'm not sponsored by Research Rabbit, but I really found that Research Rabbit has been a really helpful and important tool in the past year for me as I do not only my own research, but research for professors who are doing completely different research than what I'm used to doing. And it's really helpful because, again, sometimes I'm not sure if I've found all the articles that's needed for a topic. And with Research Rabbit, you can put in a few articles that you already have, and it'll show you any related articles, any articles that you may have overlooked or may not have initially found because of certain keywords or key items that you've been plugging into your search systems. And it's really cool. And they recently updated it, so it's even cooler. And check it out for yourself. Okay, so let's review the tips so far. 1, ask yourself, what am I interested in? 2, make a list of everything you're interested in researching, whether it's doable or not. Just write it down. 3, use websites like Google Scholar to browse through the titles and abstracts for interesting terms or topics using keywords from your list. 4, do this for every item on your list. 5, look for themes and areas of overlap. 6, select a topic and keep the rest for later. You'll need it. 7, find articles on your topic. 8, read those articles. 9, find more articles via Research Rabbit. And 10, ask yourself, what questions do I still have about this topic? And typically, those questions are the questions that you can turn into your research. The questions that haven't already been answered and that you think are still important to be answered. So again, those are my tips for how to start a research topic, how to find a research topic that you're interested in. Like I said before, this may look different if you're in a different field, but I think a lot of people get so stuck into thinking, I can't do this, or how can I do this, or what do I even research? So I hope that these tips were helpful. I hope that some of the resources that I provided are helpful. I'll make sure to post a link for Google Scholar and also ResearchRabbit as well. And again, if you have your own tips that you want to share about picking a research topic or just doing research in general, make sure to share them in the comments. So that's it for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Again, that really helps me out. It helps other people find my videos. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye.